Welcome back to NCSY Pulse at the JSU President's Conference. I'm sitting with Tzila Dagan.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. You are from Silicon Valley, correct? Okay, how did you get involved in NCSY? Because I'm pretty familiar with West Coast. I was very good friends with Akiva Naaman, who I think preceded you. How did you get involved?
So I was doing my undergrad and working at a sales company in Israel. I'm Israeli, super competitive, and I sounded like an 80-year-old woman, like, I'm so stressed, I'm working so hard, I need to reach my quota, I need to get more people. And then my husband, Yuda, was like, whoa, you're really stressing out. Maybe you need to take it a little bit more chilled. So I spoke to my sister, which her husband did at NCSY like 13 years ago.
Really?
And I'm like, what's more wonderful? Working with teens, going out for coffee. What could be just nicer? And I said, why not? And also, I went to England for 3 years to study there.
Really?
To learn more about Judaism.
Okay.
And I worked with teens. So I thought it would flow
Perfect.
naturally.
Sure.
And that's how I got it.
And how's the experience been so far?
Wow, I think that I'm learning so much about myself and understanding how success is always like running after something that you're never reaching. So you either stop and create a success or continue running after something.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a process with myself of understanding what is success, what do I learn about myself, how is it constantly putting the teens in the center, not me. There's a lot of learning.
So I love what you say about putting the teens in the center. A lot of people, when they think about leadership or when they say I'm a leader, they think that means I'm the one who kind of gets up on the chair in front of everybody.
Celebrity.
Right, for sure. There's sort of like a celebrity element to it, but I love when you say, but really what we're supposed to do is put the teens into the center. Clearly, you're doing great leadership training, and I've met a number of your students, and they're fantastic. What would you say you look for when you see these teens? What's something that you look for that you would identify and say, okay, that's somebody I've got to get into our leadership circle, onto our regional board, or at the president's office?
Great question. And every end of the year, like June, July, August,
Right.
I interview, I would say about 45 teens.
Wow.
And because an average of 6 schools and 5-6 teens and let's say 8 are interviewing, and I'm looking for this passion because I think we could learn things, we can, earn a skill and talent. But if you're not passionate and this is only for your college, and I think it's amazing for your college, and I'm happy to try with everyone in your college,
Right.
but if it's only about that, the year starts and I'm stuck alone. I'm like stranded on an island, and you're so busy with school and you're so overwhelmed, and all I want to say is like, oh, write whatever you want in your resume. I just need a passionate teen.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting, like Alma, the one you interviewed before me,
Yeah.
all I said was like, you're passionate, let's create a new role, let's make something that takes your passion.
Yeah.
What are you good at? She likes content, she likes talking, she likes leading. Great, that's your position, as long as you're passionate.
So you have all these kids here, and one of the things that I'm sure as a leader, we always have to be learning. We always have to be developing. Now that you're here, there's so many talented JSU staff members and NCSY staff members here who've been here for many different amounts of time. Some have been here for 15, 20 years. Some have been here for 15, 20 minutes, But what's one thing that you would say that while you're here, you have the opportunity to learn from so many great colleagues and so many great people? What's one thing you want to take away?
So I would want to say something that I took away from last conference, and it was a rabbi who said, be more courageous. You want to talk about something, you want to get something, be more out there. So that's something that I learned, even though I'm Israeli and super blunt. I'm still like very trying to be PC in Silicon Valley. So that's one thing. And I think one thing I want to get over here, I think you can always be a better leader,
Yeah.
which means an event can always be better. And not in a depressing and like I'm never good enough. An event can always be better.
Always.
And a discussion can always be more engaging. And a discussion can always be more stimulating and get you to think more. So I think that's what I want to learn, how to get people more engaged and excited in a discussion. Because when you meet an Israeli, whatever question you ask, they're not going to stop talking. But here, ask a question and they're like smiling politely. And I'm like, that was not a good question then. So that's what I need to learn.
Okay, listen, we're all, like you said, we're all learning, we're all growing, and it's a constant thing. But I'll tell you, you have a lot to be proud of. You're a little bit of a celebrity. This kind of all started in the Judah Fellowship. And like I've mentioned so many times, Leah Kozakovich is one of our favorites, and she always credits you. We did her interview about a month and a half ago, and she gave you a lot of credit on the podcast.
Yes.
And but it really is very telling. What I hear from your students is like they give you so much credit, and they say you're so involved, and you're really the reason why they're here. You should take a lot of excitement for that. That's really a huge credit to the work you're doing and to your personality. How did you wind up in California from Israel?
Because I told my sister, I want to do something cool and different. I want to make a difference. And she's like, okay, you want to go to Silicon Valley? Sure, I'll connect you with Akiva. But I appreciate what you're saying because I keep asking myself, what is my value? Like, Silicon Valley kids are super busy. They are overstimulated. They have so much school and sports and Israeli Scouts, which are all amazing things. What's my value there? And my husband keeps saying, your relationship.
Yeah.
You're making a
100%.
difference with making people feel good about themselves. So I really appreciate you saying that.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Last question for you really quickly, and I'll let you go get back to the program. If you could give one piece of advice to all these very busy teens, like you said, in Silicon Valley, they're so busy. The truth is everywhere. Kids are busier now than they've ever been. The pressure on them is more than it's ever been.
Sure.
If you could give one piece of advice to all these kids, what would it be?
I think to take a few minutes a day and sit with yourself and journal and ask yourself really simple questions. Where do I want to be in 5 years? What am I doing this year to get there? What am I really good at? Am I using that skill? What am I busy the most? Let's say my day. What am I doing the most through my day? And is that serving my purpose? So for a lot of them, yeah, if you want to go to an Ivy League school and most of your day is surrounded by school, then great, it is leading your purpose. But just remembering to be focused and be intentional about what we're doing and not just stressed out and yeah.
All right, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for
Of
joining
course,
us.
thanks.
You're great.
Yeah.